trainee, you have limited training money to spend. Okay? What I mean by that is that every time you do an exercise, you are spending money, which is basically the amount of recovery capacity you have. You have a limited capacity to recover from training. So, depending on how much money you have to spend, you can do more or less volume. Some people are genetically gifted to be able to tolerate more volume than others. Some neurotypes, like the type 2A, by the way, I often mention neurotypes. If you want to learn more about neurotypes, you can go on Thibarmy.com. We have videos explaining all the different neurotypes. I also have an online certification explaining how to evaluate neurotypes, how to design program for your neurotype, etc. Now, the type 2A, for example, can tolerate tons of volume. 2B can tolerate lots of volume also. But some neurotype cannot tolerate volume. So that's one difference. Now, some people, those who have more muscle mass, more strength, will normally tolerate less volume because they lift more weight. Every set, every rep is more demanding on their body. Women can normally tolerate a bit more volume than men. People who are on drugs, of course, can tolerate more volume than people who are natural. But regardless of how much training money you have to spend, everybody has its limit. That's why, to me, one of the biggest mistakes I've seen in the past, and that I've done myself as a coach, is using redundant training volume. What I mean by that is using two exercises that are basically the same. They overload the muscle the same way. For example, if I'm doing, let's say, a barbell curl with the wrist aligned with the elbows. I'm using a bar, and I'm going to do the exact same movement, so curl with the wrist in line with the elbow with dumbbells. I'm basically doing the exact same exercise. You could argue, yeah, but you're doing one limb, both limbs separately. Yeah, but it's still the same movement pattern. If I'm doing bench press, then I'm doing dumbbell flat bench press, it's the same movement pattern, okay? If you're doing bench press, then incline dumbbell press, that's fine. It's not the exact same movement pattern. But if I'm doing bench press, then flat dumbbell bench press, and then Smith machine bench press, I basically did 3 exercises to cover the exact same movement pattern. Now you could argue, well, it does allow me to do more sets of the same pattern without the boredom of doing the same exercise over and over and over again. That's a point. But studies have shown, a recent study has shown that doing 5 sets of an exercise, well, if you do between 5 and 10 of the same exercise, doing 5 sets is more beneficial than doing 10. So if I'm doing 3 sets of flat bench, 3 sets of dumbbell bench, and 3 sets of Smith machine bench, I'm probably doing too many sets of the same movement pattern for maximum results, okay? So doing redundant training volume is basically spending training money all on the same thing. What you could do is spend money elsewhere. So when you select your exercises for a workout, don't do 2, 3, 4 exercises covering the exact same function or the same movement pattern. You're wasting your resources and your time.